Okay, at the time of recording this, I have like just uploaded this a few hours ago, as you can see. 3 hours. If you're watching this, I'm assuming that you know me and that you saw that I either like texted you this link or I put this on my Instagram story or like etc. And I just want to say thank you for clicking, thank you for joining, thank you for listening. I truly would just be yapping into a mic and throwing that into the abyss. And so, like, hearing feedback, even if that feedback is like, I just listened to part of it, I love that. So, anyway, appreciate you guys. And if you found this and you do not know me, that's crazy. That's what we call organic reach. Yep. Yes. So, with that being said, thank you for the love on the last episode. Up to 10 likes. I've gained 4 subscribers. Come on. Okay. I mean, there it is. So anyways, let's get straight into it. So, welcome, everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of Gab with Sab. This one, we're gonna coin jobless behavior because I unfortunately am living a bit of a jobless life at the minute. So, first we'll talk about life updates. I have several things to share. For one, I have lost one of my jobs. And by lost, I mean it was the one that I would not shut up about last episode, and that is my job at the cafe and baristaing, and basically we did not get paid, and then the cafes are now shut down. And so no idea when I'm going to see that check, and the cafes are like being liquidated, so like my job is not there anymore, though I have not been formally fired, which is crazy. And so can we talk about like crazy being re-added into our like cultural lexicon like of the moment? We like really tabooed that word, and we were like, do not call people crazy, especially people who are mentally ill, especially women, because that word has been used to harm those communities. But now we're back to it, and it's just like, if something is wild or interesting or neat or like unheard of, it's like, that's crazy. And so, and I am not trying to call y'all out. I'm guilty of it just the same. And it's just, I'm not trying to say it's bad. I'm just saying it's interesting that we like, I felt that word was like extremely ostracized from our vocabulary, and then now it has just like been welcomed back with open arms. And here's me, my arms are open. My arms are open. So anyway, I don't have that job anymore, and that's fine, because as you can see, as you can hear, I'm recording a podcast episode when I would normally be opening the cafe. Okay, so this is pretty fun. I'm trying to like take this time. Okay, wait. Let me explain my jobless behavior as it continues, because I have another job that is like freelancing software development, and that work, I only have like one primary client right now, and they asked me to pause the work that I was doing until we get some more feedback on the app. Totally reasonable, absolutely agree, and that means I'm not working this week. And so I've just kind of like, I think I'm going to do a little bit of work tomorrow, because I got to fix one small thing with like old versions of the app showing up, whatever, you guys don't care. That is to say, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do it, I think, for free, because, like, I don't know, I feel that I should have fixed it already, whatever, I don't know. Whether or not I, like, charge for stuff I do is, like, at the end of the day, my decision, and whatever feels right for me, and it is my goal to, like, charge for more of my time, because I think I have been undercharging. I've been doing that, like, knowing that my client was, like, low on investment money, and Well, now we're to the point where they're like basically out of it. And so, crossing my fingers that more investments come through. Okay. Okay. I love venture capital. I love stakeholders and investors. Yeah. So, anyway, so I'm not working either of the jobs that I normally would be right now. And so I am trying to take this week to like pursue creative endeavors and like move forward other interests and like try new things again now that I have some like time and space, which feels so like idealistic. Like, okay, let me back up and say that right now I have enough money, obviously, to like choose not to pursue a new income stream during this time. Like, I can afford to have some like leeway time here, and so I'm trying to make the most of it. And I tried to make the most of it in the first 4 months that I was freelancing back in 2023, and I did not do anything. I was like, I'm gonna make my website real cute, and I'm gonna make tutorial videos for software stuff, and like show how I built my website and show how to blah blah blah. And I'm gonna also make personal content, and I'm gonna edit a bunch of videos. Maybe I'm gonna make the podcast. I'm gonna do like UI design challenges to like really like hone my craft and keep myself sharp. And I did not do any of that. I mean, I made my website during that time, which was like quite the feat, but I spent most of my time doing like literally jack shit. And it made me feel literally like jack shit. Like, it made me feel like I was incapable. And so I'm feeling very grateful that I feel like the motivation and the focus to like do some stuff right now. So, one of the things that I'm doing with my time now, starting this Friday, well, I've already started actually, is doing like music management. So my friends are in a band called Fairy Astronaut, shout out. And basically I was like, I love you guys. I love y'all. I love like y'all as individuals. I love your music, and I just like really want to see you succeed. And basically like, how could I help do that? And does that look like coming on as like, I've been saying manager, maybe what I really mean is like agent or something, because what I intend to do is to help them book gigs, to like manage administrative work, so that basically I want them to be able to focus on the work that they want to do, and I want to take care of and handle the stuff that they don't want to do. And Colin is also interested in helping, and we have another friend who like has more experience in the music industry and just in like music creation and etc., who's gonna like help out with questions. And it's just really exciting, actually. And so then I have two other friends, Adrian and Ash, Adrian X Ash. Go check them out. Check out both Fairy Astronaut and Adrian X Ash. These are my girls. Like, so anyways, Adrian and Ash are vocalists, and they're like, I don't want to tell their story for them, but they're like dabbling with songwriting. And I was basically like, I want to get y'all more performances, because they know that they told me, and I know that they like it. Like, oh my God, vocalists like performing, that's crazy. I want to get them more gigs as well and figure out what they want. But so basically this Friday, during my jobless week, I'm going to be meeting with Fairy Astronaut, the girls, and the girls gender neutral, capital T, capital G, the girls. I'm going to be meeting with the girls to talk about like what they like doing, what they don't like doing, etc., so that I can figure out where to help. Because like, I can think of stuff that I want to do or that I'm capable of, but like, if they're trying to do that, like, I'm not going to yuck their yum just because what? I want to like feel important? I don't think so. So anyways, music management is something I'm trying, and we're going to see how that goes. the work that I've already done for that is starting up their website. And so I'm building it myself because if we're keeping up here, I've been having acid reflux, like, disgustingly, like heartburn and shit. Oh my God. It's like, let me get a sip of water. I feel that I thought heartburn was like not that big a deal. I was like, what? So your chest gets a little hot? Like your little esophagus flares up? Like, aw. And now that my little esophagus is flaring up and I'm getting fucking bile cooking up my chest, I'm like, ow. It's like painful and uncomfortable, bro. It makes me feel like I'm gonna vomit. And that is such a nasty feeling. Ew. So I feel that the diva is humbling me right now, and maybe I deserved it. Anyways, acid reflux, and then backing up fairyastronaut.com. I'm making their website because I famously do what? Freelance software development. And so I'm building their website, and it's in progress. But you better believe when I got that shit done that you're going to be seeing it. Like, I am not going to be quiet about it. I'm going to be showing it off on this podcast. Maybe, and I'm going to make tutorials for how to fucking make one in the same way that I did. Because I think I'm good at it. I think I would do a good job. Because I think I'm funny. Okay. That's it. I'm saying it with my chest. I'm going to start saying I'm funny with my chest because there was a man when I was a freshman who had the fucking nerve to be like, women aren't funny. I hope you're embarrassed now, Floptina Aguilera. Thank you, Katja. I just like I think about that story because I was like at somebody's house. We were hanging out. Me, several women, several men. And it was a boy-girl party. And basically, we are talking and yapping and whatevering. And I'm like being kind of quiet because I was usually in this group like with another person, with Colin. But then Colin was at rugby or whatever. And I was with this group by myself. And so I was being shy. And then this man says some bullshit like that. Like, why aren't women funny? Like name one woman that's funny. And I did not have like the confidence or the gall to speak up and be like, you're a fucking stupid idiot, dumb. Hey, went to go check out the book on how to make everyone fucking hate you, and it turns out you've had it for your entire life and you've racked up thousands of dollars in dues, diva. Pissed me off more that I like didn't say anything and just like whatever. I'm sure he's seen the error in his ways. And if not, like, then he doesn't get to laugh at my jokes. Okay? You don't get to laugh. No hee ha-has for you. Okay, so rolling it back, making fairyastronaut.com, that is going well, and that is the music management I'm doing. And oh my God, isn't that so cute when like your interests and skills just like cross over and align? That's synchronicity, am I right? The Artist Way that I talked about last week talks about synchronicity and like finding alignment and synchronicity between things and just being like, observing that and taking note of it and being, I don't know, in this case I feel very like grateful for that's like, hey, this group, this entity needs a website. And that is a skill that I have. And because I have that skill, I can donate the time it takes. And all of the other stuff for hosting it is free. Like, I'm able to do that for free so that they don't have to pay fucking $12 a month or whatever to Squarespace to have their own website. That being said, I do not know how to like make or manage an e-commerce website that feels like that is Shopify's gig or whatever, or Squarespace's gig or whatever. Like, they're good at doing that very easily. And I don't know how to fucking do that and like manage inventory, bro. Do I need to make a admin backend too? Like, ugh. I do not want to do that. So if they're trying to sell merch on this website, I'm going to keep it a buck. No idea how I'm going to do that, but maybe I'll figure it out. So that's what it's all about, I guess. Is figuring it out. Figuring it out. Okay, other unemployed pastimes are going to include doing more like public speaking. So I have had two public speaking engagements in the last month. Oh my God, Sabrina, that's crazy. So one of them was for the UIF meetup, the University Innovation Fellows meetup. If you're watching this and you're in UIF, comment down below. Like, UIF gang, rise up. Team link in the comments. So there is this annual meetup for this group called the University Innovation Fellows. If you're not familiar, I'll explain it briefly. Essentially, it is a movement to champion and train students to become change agents on their campus, to create environments and ecosystems that integrate innovation and entrepreneurship. There we go. Okay. I knew I was going to get there. And it uses the like principles of design thinking as well as like explicit design thinking training. And basically, I gave a talk to the newly trained fellows that all gather at this annual meetup. Oh my God. My GI is just like never happy on either end. So there's an annual meetup where all the newly trained fellows come and, you know, kiki and hee and haha, and they like do workshops and talk to each other about their projects and learn things. And part of it is that there are some people invited back to help run the event who are former fellows, and or like once a fellow, always a fellow. You know it. You get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. Former fellows are invited back. I was one of those fellows, and so we're called Fabs, which is just short for fabulous. Like, it's nothing special, nothing crazy. And so I gave a talk to all the newly trained fellows, and it was about reframing your work as creative work, because it probably is. And so that was one where like I drafted this talk. It was called an Ignite talk. And I drafted that and did like a few run-throughs and did outlines, and then I had, you know, like 5-ish minutes to present that. And this year, so I've done that the last 2 years, and now this was my third. And the previous 2 years, I had like not practiced that much, and like really, like I practiced some, like do not get me wrong, I was practicing, but this year I practiced a lot more, and like several times a day instead of just like once. And I wrote myself an outline, and I actually like fully wrote myself out an outro that like summarized the talk and had like a send off and like, you know, consider this, like I want to leave you with this, blah 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 blah. And then I fully forgot to read that. Like I got to the end of my one sheet and the outro was on the back, and I was just like, well, that's it. So that was too bad, but that's okay. That's okay. We live, we learn. Those are recorded, so that is going to be, I wonder if I can reshare that to my YouTube channel. It's going to come out on the UIF channel. So again, if you like know me in real life or you follow me on Instagram, if you don't follow me on Instagram, it's Sabnasty, but the B is an 8. That's all I'll say about that. So I did that. I also did a speaking thing for a club at MSOE. I talked to the AI club, the MSOE AI club, Make, and girl, I just yapped about myself. It was meant to just like go through my journey and like talk about my relationship to entrepreneurship and the freelance work that I do. And I mostly talked about freelance work, and I was like, I do this and I make a living off of this, and this is kind of how, like, it's not terribly difficult, and it's not like prohibitively difficult. Like I think with with the right, like, opportunity, like, given that you have work, doing the rest of it is not very difficult. Getting the work is the hard part. And I talked for 45 minutes. They were like, I only had like 6 slides, and most of them were like adjustments between one single slide. And the president of the club was like, you only have 6 slides. Like, are you sure you can fill 45 minutes? And I was like, am I sure I can fill 45 minutes? Like, you think I can't talk? You're doubting my ability to talk? What I'm hearing is that you don't think I can yap. You don't think I can gab with Sab. Like, this is basically a live podcast. And so that was kind of fun. That was kind of really fun. It was really nerve-wracking. Like, thank God there was like not a huge audience for that. The former one at the UIF meetup was like a couple hundred people versus this was like, it was for like a dozen people. And thankfully when they laughed, they did not keep it to themselves. They like showed it, and I was like, thank God, bro. Like, my jokes are hitting. Oh my God, if you're watching this and you were in that audience, also comment below. Come say hi. So I've been doing more speaking. I am trying to get into more like bigger events where there's like a chance that I could get compensated for speaking. All of the speaking engagements I've done up at this point to my life, which has been like dozens of them, have all been unpaid. And so that is to say, like, I have a lot of practice talking in front of people, so it doesn't like, which is good, so because it doesn't scare me as much anymore. And I feel, and it's partially because I feel more confident like on the mic, but I would love to be able to do it more and get paid for it. So anyway, so I'm trying to do that, pursuing opportunities. Am I pursuing opportunities? No, I'm just like waiting for an opportunity to fall in my lap, which is like not the most proactive way to do it, but I'm open to it. You know what I mean? In the meantime, I've got musicians to manage. I have got a timesheet to stare at and not fill in with any hours. Like, I'm busy. I'm busy being jobless. Speaking of the UIF meetup, that was in the Netherlands, so that means I just got back from Europe earlier last week, and I was there for like 2 weeks. Crazy. The meetup was not 2 weeks. I did go ahead and do some traveling after the meetup with Colin. That was very fun. We went to Amsterdam and Paris and London, and oh my God, what a little treat. Oh my God. I like am talking and I feel the burp bubbling up within me. Usually they're like sudden and they just run out, but these ones are like really working their way out. They're really like taking their time. So, Europe. It was really fun. I ate a lot of good food, and I also like went thrifting, which ended up being more like vintage shopping, which is different. I did a little bit of both, I suppose, but there was a lot more like vintage shopping accessible than there were, at least like in what I could easily find and what was within reasonable distance. Actual thrifting, I like could not really get a grasp on, where things are not like curated and marked up as a result. And that is no disrespect to vintage shopping. I'm not trying to say that vintage shopping should be cheaper. I like respect the hustle to an extent of like finding good items and curating them so that like I can come have a more frictionless experience searching for secondhand clothing. I see that value add there, like I see it, because I don't always want to spend the time, but I do wish that there would have been more like thrifting accessible, because I was curious to know in these areas like what is stuff that people are just giving away? What is the common clothing items? Like, is it similar to what thrift stores look like in the US? What am I going to find? What kind of stupid shit am I going to see on t-shirts? And so I didn't get as much of the thrifting as I wanted, but I did do some vintage shopping. I did get a pair of pants, similar color to this screen that you're looking at, actually like really fucking similar, but with like a little bit more like of a neon kind of thread, or it's all thread, but like a neon kind of like undertone. And they're really cute. They're trousers. They're very nice. They are like a little bit tight on my big old booty, and that's too bad, but I am doing yoga these days. So while I have not shrunk yet, I am like crossing my fingers hoping that I am able to reduce the size of my waist and my thighs, because those are the things that tend to not fit in pants. And there's something to be said about like fitting into pants versus finding pants that fit you. Yes, I just like keep having to like move that goalpost because I keep growing. That is to say, I keep getting larger. And I would just like to level out somewhere so that I can have clothes that I like that fit me consistently. And I just like don't want to keep having to like say goodbye to pants that I love, that I have found secondhand or vintage shopping or whatever the fuck it is, and have to like get rid of them or have to have that weird like half and half relationship with it. I just I love a lot of the pants that I have found, and I just like really want to keep them. So anyways, so that is like a bit of my goal with yoga. I don't know if that is like a healthy or unhealthy attitude to have. It's really up in the air. So I did like the thrifting and vintage shopping in Europe. I also went to the street in Paris where there's like a bunch of luxury stores, and as a result like did some shopping there, and I spent some money, and I just like feel really icky about it. Like I feel that like I bought a Calvin Klein bra, and like I have not been a big bra person really ever. I I wore one for most of high school, or like all of high school, because like it was taboo as fuck to not wear a bra at that point for me in between 2012 and 2016, as far as I could understand, because then my nipples would be showing, and that was just like not a reality I wanted to deal with. And we could talk more about that, but I was wearing bras mostly to like make my boobs look bigger because I had very tiny little baby boobs, and I felt like that made me undesirable and ugly. And so I was trying to make my boobs look bigger. Then I eventually, in college, was introduced to the idea of No Bra Friday by a couple people on my floor. Shout out. And then No Bra Friday just turned into like No Bra Every Day. And I was like, because I went without a bra, and I was like, this is so much fucking better. Like, again, had small boobs, and so like it was not detrimental to my comfort to be without a bra. Now my boobs are bigger, and I still am mostly not wearing a bra, but there are some times in some different shirts and different clothing items where I want to wear a bra. And so I was like, it would be really nice if I could get like a comfortable bra, and whatever. This is like, for all the people with breasts out there, I'm sure you guys are like, yeah, I know the experience that you're having. Get on with it. This is all to say that I bought a bra, and I think the band is too small still, so I'm gonna get one of those like extenders. But it was just like I wore it for a night, and it was so uncomfortable and like kept bothering me, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, I fell for the fucking trap. That's like why I feel so much buyer's remorse for it. Because not only was it $40 fucking dollars, but it wasn't even comfortable. And I was like so pissed at myself. But that's okay. We live, we learn. It could be worse. I'm going to get the little bra extender, and maybe I can make it work for me. So it has been a bit of a trend for me to be shopping, but this year I like very loosely and kind of like committed to nobody talking about a low buy year, because I heard somebody else talk about that, like some other influencer or whatever, and I was like, yeah, I think that would be good for me because I want to save money. Because at the time I was like, I'm going to go to Europe and I like want to be able to spend money while I'm there. Even just like on food, I was like, it's going to be an expensive time to just like exist in another country where I have no fucking kitchen. So I've been trying to do a low by year, but a piece of that was that I said I was going to list some of the things I own and wanted to sell on Facebook Marketplace. And dude, Facebook Marketplace is such an addictive little hole to fall down for me. I crave scrolling Facebook Marketplace. Like, it is a social media for me, basically. And I know that I'm not the only one who experiences that. So, in downloading Facebook, because I did not have Facebook on my phone prior, because I didn't really use it, I downloaded it again, which I have had it on my phone at different times in my life. I'm not trying to be like I was a never Facebooker, but I downloaded it again so that I could list stuff, and then I was like, whatever, of course I'm going to browse, and browsing is really fun. So as a result, I have like bought more things on there because I am browsing and like seeing what's available, and my low buy year has turned into like a bit of a buy year. Like I've been kind of medium buying, and something else I've been buying is Bagoo bags. Now, if y'all aren't in on the Bagoo scene, they do like limited runs and they change out their offerings, like seasonally or less often. So some stuff like they have produced and then they'll never produce again, as far as I understand. And so there are colors and what have you that are like known, and now they are in finite supply, and so they are traded within the community. And the reason I know this is because I joined a buy sell trade Bagoo Facebook page. I don't even know how I found that or how I ended up here, but that is something else that I scroll and that I like shop because people list shit and they have it for sale. I don't really have much to like trade with at this point, and especially people don't want anything like new. So if there was something that I bought off the website, like it's still available on the website, so like why the fuck would they buy it from me unless I'm like selling it at a discount? So I got a Bagoo fanny pack. I got it in the like pink pistachio pixel gingham, and that shit was uggo as fuck. And it was fugly. It was so nasty looking, like in real life. And the picture online did not look like how it looks in real life. So anyway, so I dyed that. And then I was like, dude, I could dye my Bagoo. Like, I'm so into this now. I'm like really, really, really into this particular fanny pack that I have now because I dyed it. I've like put so much effort into getting it to look good and like look the way that I want it. And then I found this page, and now I have since bought a crescent. You can like kind of see it up here in the background. It's a lemongrass crescent, which is like a kind of chartreusey, yellowy green. Oh my God. I'm on that Facebook page also day in and day out and like seeing what posts I've missed. And that has been kind of my like social media interaction lately, is shopping online. And oh my God, that is jobless behavior. That is like, especially when I right now am like literally earning no income. I'm like, I guess I haven't jumped on anything in the last week because I have been like without funds coming in. And so now I'm just window shopping, which always like feels like it's nothing, but it is something. It is like putting myself in that position, and maybe even in the best case scenario, putting myself through the emotional turmoil of wanting something and then like grieving the loss of it because I know I'm not going to get it, or I know I can't afford it, or whatever. Window shopping is just it's like gambling, it feels like. Or it feels like last episode we talked about indulgences. It feels like an indulgence to window shop because it's like letting myself do the thing. It's like putting the killing thing between my lips, but not giving it the power to do its killing. Yeah. Insert picture of me in Amsterdam at the Fault in Our Stars bench. Boom. Speaking of social medias, I have had kind of, how do I want to say this? the social media apps, like, they come and they go and they have different roles in my life at different times. And right now I'm in an upswing, both with Facebook, as we just talked about, but also with Instagram, because in traveling, I was getting in the habit of like posting stuff because I wanted to keep like people who I know back in the US up to date with like what I was doing and that I was safe and blah blah blah. And hey, dare I say I wanted to look cool and I wanted people to like affirm that I looked cool. And so when my friends give me that little like on my story or slide up and be like hee hee ha ha, then I feel good about myself. And what's wrong with that? Maybe a lot. I don't know. It feels fun to like use social media and be like a creator on there, like be someone who provides content as somebody who consumes a lot of content online, like whether that be shopping bullshit or like watching other people's stories. I also like use social media apps like Instagram for news. Stay with me here. I follow a lot of accounts and a lot of like activism accounts that keep me in the loop with what's going on. And should I be fact checking those? Yes. Am I? Certainly not every time, but I have found like accounts that I trust. And so anyways, I'm like using social media both as a consumer but then now like more as a creator. And it's fun, but as I was alluding to with like, what's the word? It's not fiending, but like fishing for engagement. It feels like I'm fishing for engagement sometimes, and I don't know how to feel about all that. Like, I don't know if it's cool or if it is detrimental to the relationships I actually have with people. Maybe that's taking this way too fucking seriously. I don't know. I don't know how seriously to take this because part of me is like, it's just content. Like, it's just Instagram. It's just whatever. And then I'm also like, doing this habit regularly and doing this like in front of so many people, whatever it is. Like, people talk all the time about how social media is like a very unnatural way to interact with community, and like whether or not that makes you actually feel closer and feel connected is like, I was gonna say it feels up in the air, but it feels like it's kind of landed with research and stuff where you're like, excessive social media use is just kind of like not it. But then I think about creating content like this and wanting to promote it and wanting to whatever. I'm like, this is a tool that I need to use. So I don't know. I don't really know what my point is for this discussion of social media besides that I just want to say like I'm using it more and I don't know how I feel about it, and I don't really know what to do about it. I think I'm just going to keep using it until I like get sick of it again, or like I notice that it's really become detrimental to my well-being. And that is to say I'm going to fuck around and find out, I guess. Moving on. Judgment. Okay, we're going to take a little break, and then we'll be right back. I got to go to the bathroom. I have to use the toilet. And we're back. We're live, and we've returned. I was just talking about social media a bunch, and talking about how whether or not my use of it, my like more heavy use of it, is detrimental to myself. But I'll tell you about what is detrimental to myself. And that's how fucking mean I am to myself. How judgmental I am of myself. So I'm going to like talk about this idea of judgment with regard to the self, if you will. I feel that there is a level of self like judgment that feeds self-awareness that is important. And like you can do social media in excess, you can absolutely judge yourself in excess, and I know because I do it. And all of my therapists have been like, girl, can you just like stop being so hard on yourself? And I'm like, apparently the fuck not. Apparently no. Apparently I have to keep being mean to myself, even though the last 26 years has shown me that that's not an effective way to change, or not like a sustainable way, or not, maybe not the best way. Like, because I do change, obviously. And so it's not like this method of being mean to myself is completely fruitless, but it hurts me along the way. And professionals seem to say that there's a better way. My Instagram activist accounts seem to say that there's a better way. So I want to try being less judgmental towards myself, and you could say that I am trying. I'm just not doing a very good job yet. I just like still am sat here with my like guns pointed at myself, ready and waiting for myself to like do something imperfect, and then I'm like, and I'll tell you what another issue with this is for me. This is just kind of like letting you in on my personal narratives, if you haven't gotten that already. The other stuff was such a shallow dive relative to this. I'm so... Whatever. I will often then project this judgment as though it's not me judging myself, but especially I do this with Colin. Colin is my, like, monogamous romantic partner. We can see where there might be an issue with that, okay? Because I am, like, thinking that he is being mean and judgmental to me because I'm assuming that that's what he's thinking, but he's not saying that. I'm just like, oh, well, if I read between the lines of your behavior, I could tell that you are being mean to me and you think I'm stupid and dumb. And he's like, girl, where the fuck did you get that? Like, I am not saying that. That's not what I think. And perhaps this is indicative that maybe you think that of yourself. And I'm like, oh my God, you're not my therapist. Like, don't try to tell me what I'm thinking. But he's right, I fear. So, anyways, I was writing my morning pages last night. As part of the Artist's Way, I'm doing daily stream of consciousness. Can I fucking talk? Holy shit. As part of the Artist's Way, I'm doing daily stream of consciousness journaling. And so I meant to do it in the morning. Yesterday I did it at night. And a lot of days I don't do it, okay? I'm going through the Artist's Way and I'm not exactly speeding through the process. And so, anyways, I'm doing my little notes last night, and I was like, good night, pages. Good night to everyone except for judgment. Fuck you, girl. That's how I feel about judgment. But I think I am an ENFJ. I don't know. My friend just sent me a new personality test, and so I will talk next time about what my results are. But my results for the Myers-Briggs are... I, like, teeter between ENFP and ENFJ. But I think ENFJ, like, is the one, like, if I'm being honest, like, I am being more judgmental than I would like to be. I think I would like to think that I'm a perceive, and I'm a perceive. But let me be real. Like, clearly I have not worked out my relationship with being judgmental towards myself. And so, ENFJ. I think Boski is the same. Miss Brittany Broski. I think she's also an ENFJ. Coincidence? I don't think so. Next you're going to tell me she's a Gemini. Is Brittany Broski a Gemini? Brittany Broski. American media personality and YouTuber. Birthday. Oh. She's close. She's close to being a Gemini. I think this means that she's a Taurus. Oh my God, I can look up her birth chart. What the fuck? This is crazy. This is so interesting. I mean, I don't know how to make sense of any of this, so it's not really that interesting. But, like, pop off, I guess. Okay, so Brittany and Broski and I, the three of us together, are ENFJs, but we are not altogether Geminis, though we are close. So, I don't know if close counts in zodiac signs. I think it can count if you're like a cusper, which I am. I am a cusper. I'm on the cusp between Gemini and Cancer, because my birthday is June 21st. Okay, write that down. Put that in your calendars, everybody. It's the summer solstice, so like when you think summer solstice, SS, think Sabrina Stangler. Oh my god, it's the Sabrina Stangler today. Yes, longest day of the year. Yeah. I've never made that connection, but that is such an astute observation on my part. Good for me. Okay. So speaking of like judgment breeding self-awareness, but then judgment also, I don't know, being like the root of all oppression. Is judgment the root of all oppression? We'll come back to that concept. I just have been thinking a lot about like my role as an activist lately, because I believe that I am, though I am sometimes judgmental towards myself and think like I'm not doing as much as I should be, because I'm not like, I don't know, because I'm not actively protesting, or I'm not like initiating discussion all the time. I don't know. I just think like I'm an imperfect activist and feminist, and what I really am trying not to be is a white feminist where I don't like actually prioritize the role that other systems of oppression play in the oppression of women. Like basically white feminism is not intersectional, whereas intersectional feminism is, well, it's intersectional. It says like, hey, not only does being black, for example, like affect how you are treated as a person, it affects how you're treated as a woman, and those two things are not separate from each other. They are like inextricably linked, because it is not just like the combination of one and the other. It is like those two things forming like a unique experience, and in its own fucking twisted, nasty way. Because there is like white women are oppressed, but it's not like it's just not the same as like being oppressed as a woman of color, or as like, I don't, okay, I'm already feeling myself being like trying to fend off criticism that isn't happening yet. Basically, like, I don't want to say these things with my chest and then have people be like, well, who the fuck cares to hear from you about this? Like who am I? Who am I to say these things? And that's exactly what is kind of happening right now with Chapel Roan and Brittany Broski, and I don't know if it's like really, I don't entirely know what's happening. I just like have seen a couple thumbnails and like watched a couple of like, I watched like the intro of the video starting to talk about those two as like case studies of white feminism, where they like came up on their social hierarchy climb, and we're really like advocating for, you know, like, I don't know, just like anti-racism and like, you know, anti-oppression altogether. Like they were kind of taking the like people's stance, if you will. That was like, hey, like I know that I am white, but I like am also a woman, and in like Chapel's case like is queer, and I like am grateful that I have this platform and I want to use it in order to, you know, further the cause. That's that's like a really, really simple way to put it. Probably oversimplistic, but now they are getting backlash for like not speaking up about everything, and they're kind of like Brittany Broski got backlash for not speaking up about Palestine soon enough according to the internet, and honestly according to me. Like I was really surprised. I mean, I've been in the like catching up with the Broski report, and so by the time I got around to the episode where she was addressing it, it was like long overdue for me, because I was living in the past. Like I was watching her older content, and so I started to see stuff come around like before I had gotten to that episode where she actually like addresses it and is like, hey, sorry that it took me so long to like speak up about this, but I'm also like, because I think she makes the case that like what makes her some kind of authority on this, that like you should be listening to her. And I think this rubbed me the wrong way, at least, because like she's the same person that like commended Hosier for saying that solidarity costs nothing. And so the like kind of like the least you can fucking do is show solidarity with a movement and use literally just use the significance of your platform to say like I fuck with this, like, and I don't fuck with that, like I don't fuck with genocide. And so I guess like let me make that clear here on my largest platform. This is not my largest platform, but I will be advertising on my largest platforms. I am on the side of there is an active genocide against Palestinian people, and they're being like forced and starved and bombed from their like in their homes and by what I understand is like the Israeli government. And so like it feels pretty easy for me to say like I don't support that, and I support like the efforts to like quote unquote free Palestine, to like free Gaza. And well, it doesn't stop with the like Israeli Palestine situation. It goes on to like the Congo and Sudan and the fucking war that's still happening in Ukraine, which is crazy. I like realize that I get to sit back and say like, wow, that's crazy. And it's like not happening on the front lines of like my home. And that is the like the privilege I have in being like white and an American and like a United States of American. Like I get to just be like, oh, that sucks. And it truly does feel like the least I can do to say like the shit that's going on, these like crimes against humanity are terrible and awful, and I think that they're wrong. And I think the further thoughts on that having to do with like how I think they should end, or how I should be acting in accordance with those values. Like if I don't fuck with it, then I should be boycotting the list of whatever places, which is basically like every big company ever. Like all these fucking big companies are so shady. Like why? So acting my values, like acting my if I like purport to be an intersectional feminist, then I'm boycotting, I'm protesting, which I like truthfully, I have missed protests for like the last several years because I just like have quite literally prioritized other things. But I'm like a noisy Instagram user. And so like I am sharing things a lot. I'm sending things to people. I like have conversations with people in my life, like my family members and people in my community. Like when I'm at the coffee shop, I'm like sharing my ideologies, you know, when people fucking ask. And I'm not trying to like I am working for a company and a business. I'm not trying to like, well, that's not true. Our like the cafe that I was working at like took a stance towards inclusion, and so it was not exactly like out of line for me to be like politically active and espousing like leftist values. But yeah, but I'm not trying to like people are just there to get a fucking coffee. You know what I mean? Like it's not always the time. And so some would argue that it's always the time. I have been more on the side of like picking your battles, and because I like only have so much energy, and I'm like very willing to spend it toward the end of like anti-racism and like ending genocides like to the best of my ability. But like it's not always a like a straightforward do XYZ and you get end genocide out. Like I am trying my best, but as I said, like the least I can do is show my solidarity. And so my solidarity is with the oppressed peoples of the world right now, namely like the active like quote unquote ceasefire genocide in Palestine. What I don't even know where things are at right now, because it feels that I mean, it is changing every day, but like as far as I understand, like the attacks from Israel to the people, the Palestinians in Gaza have not stopped. They are like still being starved. And by the time this comes out, like I also don't know what things are going to be like. But I think I will still be saying, I support Israel getting the fuck out of Gaza and leaving these hoes alone. Like, literally let them live. Like, can they just live? Let them take a fucking breath. So, anyway, I thought it'd be nice to just like clear this up early on in the pod and make it clear that, like, if you're not here for like discussions around intersectionality and don't want to talk about like activism or politics, like I'm not going to talk about politics and purport to be like a source of truth or a source of like factual information. Not to say that I will not be like espousing facts, but I can't believe I just used espousing twice. That's crazy. Let me shut up a little bit. I am not purporting to be like a political source, but I am a source of political opinion. Like, I have opinions and stances, and those are changing all the time. They're subject to change by the day, and this is where I'm at right now today on April 22nd, 2025 at 3:05 p.m. during my jobless stint. And yeah. Well, and so we were talking about okay. I actually have more to say about this because there is like an angle of activism that what am I trying to say? There is an angle of activism that says before you can like properly help and like do, kind of like commit to your calling and how that calling like can help the greater movement and the rebellion requires you to have that like self-work already done or like done like most of the way there or whatever it is, that there is like work we do within ourselves to become like anti-racist, for example. And there's also work that we do on ourselves to like understand who we are and what our calling is, or what I'm like using this phrasing of our calling, but what I mean is like the thing that we can do, the thing or things that we can do that like we might be able to contribute towards a movement that are our things, that are things that we excel at, that we like, and that we're good at, that like can make a difference. And so it feels like an act of activism for me to try to find my calling or explore. For me right now, that's looking like exploring different things and different ways to use my time and different like skills and different whatever's. Like I said, I'm trying to manage musicians right now. Like, how does, like, is that search for my calling activism? Saying it like that, it's like, no, but trying to find my calling such that I can eventually contribute that calling to the cause, to the rebellion, to the activism is important for me to do. So it's important for me to like work on myself, and part of what's stopping me from like actualizing my calling or my potential or my passions is also like working with my relationship to myself and being, as I said, less judgmental toward myself and being nicer so that I can become like the best activist, the best like member of the rebellion that I can be. So it's kind of all tied back into my relationship with myself, unfortunately. And so it is important for me to try to strengthen that. And it feels very like selfish to work on myself, quote unquote, when there are people fucking dying. But as far as I understand, like, this is my role. My role is to become the best version of myself, to become the best activist. And that's how I see it. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Please don't be mean. Please let's like not be fucking mean. I don't know what else to say beyond that. Like, don't be fucking rude. But, like, sound off. I'm curious what you guys think of this. So anyway, I am working on myself to become a better activist so that we can succeed, like, as a people, as a community, as a race, if you will, as a species. So, next, moving on. Ooh, you thought we were moving on from activism? No. Something I had been flirting with is the idea or like the difference between regurgitating content and like reciting or creating my own commentary around my own beliefs. And I do a lot of regurgitating, like, if I'm being honest. Because for example, I share a lot of stuff on Instagram that is not my own content, but I see it and I'm like, slay, awesome. Like, this has taught me something, or I think this reflects or demonstrates something that is important to see. And so I share it or I send it. And that's like kind of literally me just like pushing it out to my audience. But it is also like solidarity. It is my like silent-ish. Maybe it's not silent, because I'm, like, putting it on my story. I mean, I'm not going to act like it's the fucking loudest thing in the world. But, I mean, it's, like, dozens of people see my story. I'm not going to act like I'm impacting huge swaths of people. But I am impacting my circle of people who regularly watch my stories, even if they just, like, click through it. They're seeing that I, like, have solidarity with, like, the trans community, for example. And that I stand on the side of, like, gender-affirming care is life-saving care. And so to an extent, like, especially when I am not in the group affected, which, like, most of the time I'm not, since, like, as a white cis woman, and as, like, a straight passing woman, like, I am, like, bisexual, pansexual, to be clear. But I'm in a relationship with a man, like, with a cis man. And so I get, like, the luxury, or I get the literal privilege of like, appearing heterosexual, and thus not, like, I get to choose whether or not I present as queer, and whether I, like, identify myself as queer, but, like, the nature of my relationship doesn't expose me against my will. For example, with trans rights, I'm doing a ton of regurgitating because I'm not fucking trans. Why the fuck would I speak on behalf of trans people when they're speaking plenty? Like, they are speaking for themselves. It feels as though it's my role to amplify their voices. And so that's what I'm doing. And so does that change my core beliefs and change or, like, impact the way I might, like, verbalize my beliefs if asked? Like, yeah. But for the most part, I'm just amplifying. I'm amplifying the voices of those who are already speaking and saying, like, they're valid. That is slay solidarity. So, I had thoughts about this because I originally wanted to talk about regurgitating in the lens of, like, comedy, because a lot of the jokes I tell, or, like, the way I say things, or, like, the characters or the voices that I do, like, I fear that it's a lot of regurgitation, and it makes me feel like a fraud. Like, I'm not actually fucking funny. I'm just, like, listening to things that are funny and spitting them back out. And to an extent, that's true, but I think that, like, regurgitation, or, like, more favorably, imitation, is not only a form of flattery to the, like, source, but it is, like, how we practice and how I think we learn who we are is, like, by imitating other things and seeing, like, how that fits, how that feels. We try that on for size, if you will. And so, do I, like, wish that I could cite every source for everything I say? Yeah, but, like, I have to kind of make a decision about whether or not I'm gonna cite my sources. And I do, like, for a lot of jokes, I actually do cite my sources. If I remember, I'll be like, actually, I saw that on the Brittany Broski podcast. Or, like, that's a Mike's Mike joke. Because I feel guilty, like, just literally espousing, like, a joke that is not mine. But, I don't know. Some people make the case that, like, people aren't even going to notice. And I'm like, it's not really about, like, people noticing and me getting away with it. It's about, like, I don't know, credit where credit is due. And so, I don't know. I guess I feel a little bit torn, but I, like, try to give credit where credit is due. And I'm trying to, like, acknowledge that an appropriately placed joke is, like, an important part of the imitation. And it's not effortless to just, like, know when to insert a particular joke. And so I am having some, like, creative control over the comedy that's happening by, like, choosing what to say and when. And so it's not, like, totally copy-paste. It is, like, waiting for the right opportunity and then, like, calling upon the thing that is funny. I also don't think that I am unique in that. Like, I'm not trying to make it like I'm the only one experiencing this issue. Like, I think that this is, in its essence, how everybody is when learning a new skill or mastering their craft, is like trying on for size or imitating or trying to reenact or reflect the work of those before us or those currently with us. Like, maybe Boski and Caleb Heron and Mike Smike don't feel that I am their peer. And they might be right. But I would like to become their peer, and I'm acting like they're my peers. Just because I don't have the notoriety yet. Like, girl, we're going to get there. Gab with Sab is going to go crazy. It's going to go crazy. We're going to all, what is it? We're all going to make it. We're going to the moon. Let's go. When I launch a crypto, just know the rug pull is going to come. Be there or be square. Moving on to some lighter topic. I just want to talk about the music that I'm listening to right now. And the music that I intend to listen to, because I fear I'm in my comfort listening mode. I've been going back to music that just, like, makes me feel at home and makes me feel that, like, feels familiar and isn't, like, too mentally taxing of a load. And so that has included Break-Ins, who, like, last episode, remember I was like, I fucking love Break-Ins. So I made a playlist that has, like, all of his stuff, including features, so that I could download it. It's downloaded on my phone. I have it pinned. It's, like, one of my 3 pins. And I would just, like, shuffle the artist page, but it's prone to frequent replays because he has released singles in advance of albums, so there's, like, a bunch of repeats if you just shuffle his artist page. And then the This Is Break-Ins playlist is too short. It's just, like, not inclusive of a lot of the music that I really, really like. And so, anyways, on the plane, I've been also mostly listening to music when in transit, whether that had been on the tube in London or, like, walking around or driving, or that's the only time I've really been listening to music over the last, like, few weeks. And I don't know. I just, like, I go through upswings and downswings in the frequency of my music listening. And yeah. So another one that I've been on is The Neighborhood. This is me coming out as a huge Neighborhood fan. Like, Sweater Weather has 3 billion streams, and I'm probably, like, 1,000 of those. And same with, like, all these songs. I just, like, and I like all the eras. Chip Chrome and the Monotones is not, like, my fave. Like, I think it's good, but it's not my fave. Whereas, like, Wiped Out, great. Honestly, the, like, black and white one with, there's a few, like, this is something I listened to when I was in high school. The, like, G-Eazy feature, come on now. Ugh. I used to be a G-Eazy girl. Oh, that's the one. That's, like, my embarrassing coming out. Like, oh. Now, in retrospect, G-Eazy is, like, not. I just don't like him as much as I used to. We'll just say that much. But I think a lot of these songs are fun. Like, I think I feel judgmental toward myself for liking this album because it feels kind of, like, cringe. And, like, cringe in that it's, like, this song is like, I can't even believe what you did to me. I can't even. And, like, it's called hashtag I can't even. Like, come on, guys. We could have not done that. We could have not done the hashtag. But it's good. I don't know. I like that song. I like all these songs. These songs, like, make me feel like a little girl. in a way that is not like predatory but is like fun. And I don't know if it's just that they were like remind me, like the I Love You album. This was long before I was an album listener, so I like only listened to the singles like Female Robbery and Afraid and Sweater Weather and maybe Flawless. But I didn't even like listen to this whole album when I was in like 2013 and 2014. But it was, now I really like it and it's very good. And so I will just shuffle the neighborhood page. That's easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. An album I have been listening to that actually is new to me is this Rachel Chinariri, which it actually, while it is new, like I haven't properly listened to the whole album, or I hadn't until recently, a lot of it came up at the cafe during when I would shuffle my indie pop playlist, and a couple of these these songs are on that playlist, and like I think just these two, The Hills and Never Need Me. But The Hills, okay, The Hills by Rachel Chinariri, I may have said this last episode, but it's so fucking good. Oh my god, it's so good. It's such like, and it doesn't even have like the most streams on this. Ah, I mean, it has 6 million. Like 6.5 million is nothing to sneeze at. But it's just so good. It's just so good. It's like so sonically interesting. And this is one, again, where I like don't understand the lyrics completely. And that's okay because we have time to learn. But so I've started listening to this whole album, and it turns out the whole album is like very good. And so this came out in 2024. I guess I'm still not done talking about 2024. But she also released like an EP. There we go. Little House. Have not listened to yet. Intend to listen to. Let me tell you some other stuff I intend to listen to. One is this. I don't know how to pronounce this, but I don't even know what the artist would like. What's the combination one? It's just like Kazriel and Paco Amoroso. They did a NPR Tiny Desk, which was really fun, and I don't know, I've just been meaning to listen to this more because I think it will be fun. They sing in Spanish, and that's fun. Another thing I intend to listen to is the Bon Iver album. My circle loves Bon Iver, and I just like have not been able to get excited about it. I don't know why. I think this is me just like sometimes when I am holding out on a particular artist, it feels like remnants of my I'm not like other girls bullshit where like, yeah, you guys all like him, not me. It's just not for me. I respect the artistry, but like it's just not for me. And I'm not trying to be like that because I like know and I can tell that Bon Iver is like obviously a good artist and is creating art that is good. And so I think I just need to fucking take a chill pill and sit and listen to the album, and I think I would enjoy it. We'll see when that happens though. Okay, some more stuff that I'm going to listen to is The Crux by Joe DeJoe. I have listened to this a little bit in London on the tube, but I didn't get the whole thing. Another one is the Black Country New Road album. Colin is going to be Black Country New Road's like biggest fucking fan. I know they have some diehard fans, but Colin is up there, and I'm sure that this is very good and very fun. The Lucy Dacus album. Lucy Dacus of Boy Genius. I am sure this is good. This is another one that like my circle loves, and because they love it, I am scared to listen to it and not like it. And so that's why I haven't listened yet, but I will do it eventually. Another one is Spelling. I think I've listened only to their albums with Colin, and so maybe this one is the one I've listened to, or show me all the albums. Yeah, it must be that. Or maybe The Turning Wheel. I don't know. Oh my god, gorgeous. Georgina Barbina. But so this is probably going to be really good. This is like funky, silly pop, I feel like. I could be totally wrong about that. Oh my god, guys, I re-listened to the Bo Burnham album, The Inside, the Netflix special soundtrack, if you will. And when this came out, I was like really obsessed with it. And I listened to it so much, it was like in the top of all my Spotify Wrapped stuff. Yeah, listening back, I was like, this is not as like life altering, game changing as I thought it was at the time. I was like, oh my god. Who needs a coffee? Cause I'm doing a run. I'm writing down the orders now for everyone. The coffee is free, just like me. I'm an unpaid intern. Yeah. Anyway. Ooh, another album that I want to listen to more is Eusexual. This is a 2025 album. I think I talked about this last episode too. I have since gone back and listened like once or twice. And it's good, but I feel that I need to listen to it more deeply and like more attentively, or just like more to like get some of the value. Northwest is featured on a song. What the fuck? Another one I want to listen to more is Coco Jones. This is one that Adrian of Adrian X Ash, my friend Adrian, recommended because she was like, Coco Jones is a beautiful singer, like just gorgeous. And so when I want to listen to some beautiful sing-songies, I'm going to jump into that. And she has an upcoming album. Okay, great. 2 days and 7 hours. I mean, it's like basically on the brink. I think that's it. I don't know who this is. I still have not listened to the Tate McRae album. Like, I listened, I think, through it one time a while ago, and I, like, didn't catch all the songs. And now I've tried to listen, but I only get to, like, Revolving Door, and then I just, like, give up and go listen to something else. But I bet this is really good. And Revolving Door and Sports Car, hey, I like Sports Car. I don't know if that's controversial. Clearly it's not, because it has the most streams on the album. Actually, It's Okay, I'm Okay has the most streams on the album. Oh my god. Maybe I need to listen to that right now. Okay. Anywho, that is what's up for music right now. Music that I'm liking is still the comfort music, and I'm going to listen to more stuff, I promise. And I'll have more to talk about in the next episode. So, that's my last slide. This is it. This is my jobless behavior stint. You're catching me like right at the beginning of it, and we'll see next episode how that goes and if I have more work lined up next time we talk. So, anyway, Sab out.